Hey Isaac, this is Grandpa, and we're going to do our demonstration here differently, like I promised. Hopefully this will work out better for us. What I have here, like I set up before, I've got my drawing board. I've got on the left my picture, which is the same size as the paper I'm going to be drawing on. So this is another same size drawing, and I'm going to be doing the same sort of thing that I did last time, where I'm trying to transfer or measure and copy the image here on the left onto my paper. And I'm going to use my pencil that I used before, just like I asked you to do it. What's going to make this demonstration different than the one we did last time is that I'm going to try to not just um, not just do the outline of the image, but I'm going to try to show you how to do some of the inside edges of this picture, and hopefully that'll work out well for us as I show you how I do this. Let me zoom in just a little bit. There, that might make it a little easier to see. By the way, this picture might look kind of old, but there's a famous artist. His name was Rembrandt, and some people consider him the best artist that ever lived. And this is one of the drawings. It's actually an etching, I think, but it's one that he made many years ago, and that's why I'm going to use it. So, as you remember before, the key thing that we're going to do here is we're going to start by making the space that I'm going to draw on my paper the same size as the image. And I'm going to do that by transferring the lengths of the edges. So it's about that far in on that side, about that far in on this side, bigger on the bottom. So I'll make it bigger on the bottom, and then pretty small on the top. Pretty small on the top. Okay, so that's where the square of this picture of this man would fit on my paper, because my paper's a little bigger. So like we did last time, I'm sort of drawing the edges of my paper, just so I know where to transfer the different parts. Remember, the reason we do this is because in same size drawing, you have to have the same size image that you're trying to put on your paper as your paper. And since my paper was bigger, I had to draw this image size a little smaller on my paper so that I can do the same size drawing. Now, just like I did last time with you, just like you did on the duck exercise, I'm going to start transferring the key edges on the outline of this person. So my first edge is right there. So I make my mark there. On the left, actually, didn't see that, but it comes in just a little bit like from the bottom. Let's look where his jaw is on the edge. His jaw from the edge is about right there, but his jawbone from the bottom is about right there. So right there. Okay. Maybe I'll transfer one more edge before I try to draw this. And you can transfer as many of these points as you want. The more you do, the easier it is to draw. But the other thing you probably noticed when you were doing the duck exercise is the more of these you do, the longer it takes. So it's kind of a mixed, I don't know what you call it, but it can be good or it can be bad. It's bad because it takes so long, and you just want to, maybe like me, you just want to do the drawing. But the good thing is the more points you can transfer like that, the more realistic, the more real your picture's going to look. Okay, so here's the edge of his clothes down here. Kind of goes in a straight line. A little bit different than a real triangle, but close. And then here, maybe another long rectangle. See that? And that leaves a little bit of a triangle here in this corner. So I'm going to draw those shapes in a little harder so you can see them, okay? So we have a rectangle for a hat, an oval for his head, and his coat is made out of a triangle, a rectangle, and a triangle. Now the reason I'm showing you this is because sometimes when you transfer the key points using your pencil, sometimes the next easiest way to try to make the picture start to look right is to see and draw the shapes. So if I were doing this again with shapes rather than with key points, I would draw these key shapes, and then I'd look back at my picture and say, that rectangle hat is not exactly a rectangle. Why? One reason is because the corners are round. So I can come in here and say, that corner's round. There's a little bump in the middle of this rectangle. A little higher bump over here on the right. And then this side curves in and curves out before it comes down onto his hair. See that? And on the other side, this rectangle doesn't come exactly straight. It kind of goes out a little bit and then back in. So I can do that. And it actually comes below where my rectangle might be. And then I kind of finish drawing the differences between the real rectangle that I drew to start with and the shape that the hat looks like to me. Now I'm going to do the same thing with his head. I see that it's kind of oval, but the sides of his face are a little skinnier. So I'm going to bring the edges of his face in a little bit from the oval that I drew. His chin, a little flatter maybe on the bottom. So drawn like that. And I didn't try to do his face in shapes, but you get the idea. This big long rectangle, this corner up here is round. You can see that. Even the little corner that tucks in is kind of round. And then the edges are off my drawing. In fact, that curve along the bottom of my rectangle is kind of bendy. So I'm going to make it bendy. And then this one, I can't even see the line there until I get over here. So I'm just going to draw that part of the rectangle kind of funny. And then the most thing about this triangle is just the outside. Instead of being straight, it's kind of round. Same's true of this triangle up here. If I were trying to draw it hard so you can see it, I might draw it something like that. So again, seeing the shapes, appropriately drawing the shapes where they should be on my paper, and then adjusting the shape based on what I see is another way to be able to draw real looking images. So hopefully that was a good demonstration for you. We'll talk about it more in the class. But this ends our demonstration.